Hey there, so in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to upload files into Firebase. But I'm going to go about this a little bit differently because I like to do things my way. So let's get started. So I have here, this is the app I'm working on currently, and I want to click on this button, and I want to be able to upload a file into Firebase. So this button right now doesn't do anything. So let's go into the code, and let's go down to where that button is. So this is the button right here. And what I'm gonna do is gonna do an onClick. So hold on. So what I'm gonna do is here onClick. I'm using React, by the way, um, and I'm just gonna call up the function. You can simply just write in the function, or you can write it in as an anonymous function through an anonymous function, which I normally do, which I find a little bit better. I call the function handleAddPhoto. And what it's going to do is going to take in a property. It's going to take in the event here. So when you click on it, it's just going to take the event, and let's go up to the function itself. Here it is, the function. So I already have it here. Here's the event. I'm just going to console log the event. Actually, I'm going to put over here working. Simple enough. Let's go here back to my function. Let's refresh the page. So now if I click on the button in the console on the right hand side, you should see it say working. Here, working, and this is the event. So what I want to do is I want to click on this button, and this button clicks on another button, and that will open the file. So the way you're going to do that, we're going to do it like this. We're going to go here, and inside here, this is where the button is. Inside of here, I'm gonna make an input file, and it's gonna take in well, let me just show you. Hold on here. Let me just copy and paste this. Actually, let me just type this in. We're gonna go input, and let's end that tag here, and it's gonna be file equal. Oh, sorry, not files. Type equals file. So when we click on this, then it's gonna open up the file that we want. So let's just save this, and let's take a look at our function. Let's refresh the page. And here, you see this here, before that wasn't there, but here you see this is a button inside this. When you click on this, it actually opens this window, and this is when you can upload your file. So I rather have that other button opposed to this. This looks very ugly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide this and have the other button click on this. So we're gonna go here, and I'm gonna go to style, and let's do display none. Now it should be hidden. If you go back here, refresh the page, and here the button's here. So I want to click on this, and that button, this button will click on that. In order for us to do that, we have to give this an ID. I am going to give this an ID of well, you don't have to give it an ID, but you should probably give it an ID. It's a lot better. So let's call this ID handle. You can call the ID anything you want, but I like to call it to the function I'm going to be referring to. Photo. Yeah, just handle photo. This is good enough. So here we go. I just named that ID that. But so when I click on this, I want this to click on this input. But first, let's explore how we can do that. So let's go back here. So before we had this file, when we click on it, it just opens the event file. So this is referring to this. You see this div here? This is the event. So this E is this div. And what we want to do is reach inside this div and click on this. But let's take a look at what this information this gives. So if we go here and you look down at all the possible things that we can add onto it, what you'll see here is current target null. See over here it says null. That's not null. It's bullshit. You can actually access this. So it says here current target. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this. Let's copy this, and let's go back into our function. There's our function. Let's go back over here. Here it is. going back to this our function. Remember, I have here working, and let's put dot v current target. So it's e.currentTarget, and let's see what it gives us now. Let's refresh the page. Let's click on this. See, if you look here, now this is the div, and if you click on this, here's your input. handleAddPhoto. This is what we want to click on right here. So the way we're going to get to this is we're going to use querySelector. Like in JavaScript, you typically use like get element by ID or something to get this. But here I'm just going to use querySelector. querySelector is just like getting element from ID. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go here. So I gave it an ID of handleAddPhoto. And that's how we're going to search it. So back over here, what we can do is, well, let's do this right here. We're going to go here, querySelector, and we're going to do the quotation tags. And because it's an ID, we have to give it a pound sign because we're using ID. If it's a class, it'll be a dot, but because we're doing an ID, it's a pound sign. And I believe we called it handleAddPhoto. And let's just take a look. Just to confirm that, let's take a look at the button itself. Where's the button? Here it is. So here's the button itself, and like if you take a look here, I gave it an ID of handleAddPhoto. That's just like an identifier, an ID. So that's what we want to click on. So back up here, e.currentQuerySelector. So I have that, and it's still being consoled. So let's take a look at our console now. If we click on it, it should target that immediately. And over here, click on this. Here it is. We're targeting it, and all we have to do is add on at the end of this a dot click. And now when we do this, let's get rid of this console log. We don't need this console log anymore. There we go. Let's go back there. Let's get rid of this end bracket. So now it should just click on that button indirectly. Refresh this. There we go. Let's click on this. Now it opens. So you're actually clicking on it without really clicking on it, right? But you know what? I'd rather not make a separate function because this takes up a lot of space. What I can do is I can copy and paste this. So this is what we want. I can copy and paste this. Let's cut it. And let's go down over here. And instead of putting this function there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that in there. e.current right here. And that should do the exact same thing. Just click on this. Let's see if it works. And it works. Good. What we're gonna do now, oops, let's go back. What we're gonna do now is now we're clicking on this, right? And let's give this, we're gonna have this invoke the function itself, the function that we're previously at. So let's go on change, actually it's change, on change equals, now you put the function, and again I like to and let's put that, you know what, let's make this look nicer. Let's put this in front. Let's cut this, and let's go here and put that there. Okay, that's better. And I believe again we're gonna do it like this, equal sign that. Let's give this an E. And I believe the function was called handleAddPhoto, and that the E will be there. Good. And just to confirm it's working, let's go up back to our function here, and we're just going to console log that. So console.log e, and let's see if it's working. Click on this, opens that up. Let's pick file. Let's go there. Yep, and it looks like it's working. So this is the file that we're doing. So now to the main part. Now to get to the Firebase part. So let's go down. And so we want to, first of all, we want to get the file. So let's, I'm using a const. You can use you can use whatever you want, but in React, you should be using const, which means it's a constant file. So I'm gonna call file, and let me just take a look. I believe, yeah, let's do this. Let's just copy and paste this. There. So then this is the file here, and let's just console log this file, console log. Oh, by the way, I know I'm going slow, but when you're programming, you have to go slow, and you have to console log all the time, because sometimes if you make a mistake, yeah, it's very difficult to find where you made that mistake if you go too quickly. So you should go step by step, just like I know it's tedious, but that's what you got to do. Okay, let's see if this works. We're gonna console log what the file is. Here we go. You click on this. We choose a file. Let's choose my picture here. There we go. See, this is the file itself. You can see my name here and everything that's related. Okay, so that's working. So we're referencing the file, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this file into Firebase. Um, okay. Actually, you know what? Better yet, I'm gonna make this an asynchronous function. But to be perfectly honest with you, I really hate when you put the asynchronous like in front here. So I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. So I know that. So I'm gonna make an anonymous function here. Let me just comment this out for now. So I'm gonna make an anonymous function, and what you want to do is you want to make this anonymous function. In order for you to call this anonymous function through this, you have to wrap this up in these quotes here, and then you're gonna put another that there to invoke it. And to make this asynchronous, you type in async right here in the front. So what I'm gonna do now is and everything, all our entire code will be inside here. So I'm just gonna put this up here, and I'm gonna put this. Let's put this inside here, and let's do this. There we go. So now this is an asynchronous function that previously we put in the front, or you have to use a like a variable. But I like the way this looks. This looks a lot better than anything else, being an asynchronous function. So let's uncomment this. There we go. So now this is an asynchronous function. Um, I'm going to make a reference to my Firebase. Here, let me just tab that in. It looks a little bit nicer. So this is my reference to my Firebase. I'm using the current user ID here. So let me just show you so it'll be a lot more clear. So right here is I believe storage. So this is user profile. This is the user ID, and this is where the files are gonna go. So right now I have reference. This is the user profile, and this is the user ID, and this is the reference to that. And what I'm gonna do down here, right below it, I'm just gonna paste this. So it's a new variable. I calling it put, and you have to when you use async, you have to use the word await. And so this is the reference right here. These are the reference. I use child and then the file name. So the name of the file. So in our case, it was res3 JPEG, and then use the keyword put. And over here, file goes right here into the put. So this alone should put the file in the database. So let's take a look if it works. Let's go here. Let's refresh the page. Go here. Click on that, and let's just name this something else just in case let's call this res5. Okay, we click on this. Let's go to open, and everything should be uploaded. And you take a look here. Let's refresh this page, and right here it's ref5. So that's all well and done, but you want to get the URL reference of this, like where this lies, like the URL. If you look here, we can get the URL it's somewhere here, the URL reference, but we want to get that back into the console. So let's look at this analytically. Let's go here and let's go to console.log and let's take a look at this put file and see what we can take from it. So let's refresh this page. Let's go back here. Let's refresh this. And let's click on this. Let's click on this picture again. And let's take it. So this is the file here. Like I said here, this is the put file we made. And let's take a look what's inside this put file. Okay, we have a whole bunch of stuff here, but what we're interested in, because we want to get the URL from this. It's ref, and if you look in ref, there's a bunch of stuff here. There's the name. That's my name. There's the full path here. That's the bucket. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. But what we're interested in is here. If you go to prototype, here it is. Get download by URL, and here it's a function. You see this F? That's a function. So we want to get that because when we this will invoke to give you the actual URL. So let's copy this. Let's copy it, and let's go over here, and let's put that over here. Get URL, and because it's a function, you have to give that, and you will see. Let's refresh the page and let's see what happens when you click on it. Click on this. Let's click the file again. Oh, it's not a function. Actually, it is a function. But what you have to do. Okay, hold on. Let me just take a look. Oh, my mistake. I forgot the word. I forgot ref. Remember earlier, if you looked here, it was like ref, and then it was to get the download by us. So we forgot to put this ref in. Now it should work. Okay, let's refresh the page. Click on this. Click on the photo. And here it says promise. Now this is the promise, this is the complete URL reference. Because it's pending, the reason it's pending is because we haven't called on the we haven't invoked it. In order for to invoke it, we have to use the await here. So over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna let's give this here. Let's give this another I don't even well. Let's just call this URL because that's what we're trying to get back. Again, in order for the invoke this, we can use await. And so the await will invoke it, and then we should get our URL into this into that variable. And let's just let's console log that console log URL, and let's give it a semicolon. Save that, and let's see what happens now. Refresh the page. Click on this. Let's go down here. Let's click on this. And here we go. Here's the URL. Now, if I click on this URL, it brings me to my photo. And I think that's about it. That's all you need to know. I think there's a lot more simpler way of getting, inputting a file and getting everything done than other methods. So I think you should use this method opposed to any other method, especially this, because you want your functions to look like functions. You don't want to look like anything else. That's why I have this here. So it looks like a function. When you have a const and then equals a function and then the async, that looks like a variable. And to me, that doesn't look nice. You want stuff to look like what they're supposed to look like. Anyways, that's all. That's all the video. Yeah.